Good morning again. Welcome back to the course on cryptography and system security. So I hope I'm audible and the screen is visible, the shared screen through the open board application. During our previous session, we discussed about some of the techniques which are related to the introduction to the number theory. Under that concept, we discussed about different entities like what is prime number. Also, we discussed about what is co-prime. We discussed about greatest common devices, right? And then we discussed about some of the algorithms, right? We discussed about Eclipse algorithm, through which we identified the greatest common divisor between the two numbers which is given. Also, we discussed about the Chinese remainder theorem. Through that, we'll identify a common number, right? So when we are dividing the numbers, right, and if you are doing the continuous modulus operation with 3, 5, and 7, we'll get same kind of remainder 2, 3. Right? So that we calculated as well as identified using the Chinese remainder theorem, right? So in this session, we will be discussing about another important two concepts which are related to the discrete logarithm as well as Fermat theorem. So before jumping into the actual topic, I've shared the solutions for the problems, practice problem which I have posted through the Moodle account, which was posted on 11th of this month. How many of you solved it? Are you facing any difficulties to solve those problems? If you have any difficulties to solve those problems, then I'm ready to solve those problems and we'll work on it. Meanwhile, are you facing any difficulties to solve those practice problem which I have given? How many of you solved it? Did you try it at least the practice problem which was based on the play for cipher technique? Say yes or no. Yes. What about others? Not it. So you can try, right? Already the problem which are shared in the Moodle account, you might have got through the mail notifications. You can refer your mails, which is registered with your Moodle account. Otherwise, the problems are available in the Moodle account also. You can log in into your Moodle account and then you solve those problems. If you find any difficulties, I can ready to help you out. Already the solutions are shared in the Moodle account. You can refer those problems after solving. And if you find any mismatches with the solution which I have given, and we'll cross verify and then we will ready to work it out. Okay. So in today's session, I'll be discussing about important concept which is primitive root, which is comes under the discrete logarithm. So that the first thing is that when we talk about a primitive root of a prime number p is one whose power of modulo p generates an integer from 1 to p minus 1. Say for example, if I'm taking two numbers, right? Say for example, 3 or 7 or 2 or 7, right? I just need to prove that if 2 is a primitive root for the number p. In that cases, right? When I apply modulus operation to the number which I've selected, say for example, if I'm selecting two numbers, A and P, right? If I wanted to prove that no, 2 is or maybe the A is the primitive root of P, that cases, right? So how can I prove this? So when I consider this A power 1 and then A power 2 and then A power 3 till A power P minus 1, right? So if I take all these numbers modulations, modulus operations, mod p for all numbers, a power 1 mod 1, a power 1, sorry, a power 1 mod p, a power 1 mod p, and then a power 2 mod p, and then a power 3 mod p. I hope the presentation screen is visible. Everyone, you are looking at the screen until a power p minus 1 mod p. So all these values which will give the unique numbers which will comes under from 1 to p minus 1. So for example, if I consider my a value is equal to 2 and then my p value is equal to 7. So this will give the reminder, say for example, here it is, maybe 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 6. By the way, so if you are getting all the remainder values from a power 1 mod p to a power p minus 1 mod p again, right? So this should give the remainder from 1 to p minus 1. So if you are getting the remainders after modulus operation, right, a power 1 mod p till to a power p minus 1 mod p, will get the remainder from 1 to p minus 1. So that is those numbers, this in that case is that a or alpha we are calling as a primitive root of a given number. I hope this concept is quite clear. If you have any difficulties, so I'll explain with an example so that you will get a more clarification on this. So here I need to prove that, say for example, if the value is given, so p value is equal to 11 and a value is equal to 2. I just need to prove that a2 is the primitive root for p11. That case is, how could I say that is, so 2 power 1 mod 11. So 2 power 2 mod 11. So 2 power 3 mod 11. 2 power 4 mod 11. What is this 2 power 1 mod 11 which I'll get? 2, correct? 2 power 1 is equal to 2. So 2 mod 11 which is 2. And then 2 power 4, sorry, 2 power 2 which is 4. 4 mod 11 I'll get 4. So 2 power 3 is 8. 8 mod 11 I'll get 8. So 2 power 4 is equal to 16. 16 mod 11 I'll get 5. So 2 power 5 which is 32. 32 mod 11. So I'll get, which is 2 power 5 is equal to 32. 32 mod 11. So what is the result? So 32, I'll get 10, right? Correct? Is it correct?
Yes.
So 2 power 6 equal to 64. 64 mod 11. What value I'll get? So 5 11s are 55. 9. Correct? So 2 power 7 which is equal to 1. 64 means 128, right? Mod 11. So 11 11s are 121. Remainder, I'll get 7. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. So 2 power 8 mod,
Correct.
which is 256 mod 11. What value I'll get? 256 mod 11. I'll use a calculator for this. 256 divided by 11. I'll get, what is the result I'll be getting? Just calculate parallelly. What is the result? Are you getting 3, which is 3. What about others? I hope others also doing parallelly. And then so 2 power 9, which is 2 power 9, which is 512, right? 512 mod 11. What is the result? So 2 power 10, which is 1024. 1024 mod 11. What is the result for this? 2 power 9, which is 512 mod 11.
6.
6. So 1024 mod 11.
1.
So if you consider all these reminders values, so start from 1, 2, where is 3? Here is 3. 3, 4, 5, again 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So by the way, if you are doing all these modulus operation with respect to the 2 power 1 mod 11 to till 2 power p minus 1, which is so 2 power 1 to 2 power 2 till p power 2 power 10 mod 11, we'll get all the values which from 1 to p minus 1, which is 10. If you are getting these reminders for a given value, in that cases, right, this given value a, which is 2, will be considered as a primitive root for the given numbers. Is it clear now? Is there any difficulties to understand? I hope this is quite clear. If you want, I can explain with another example, maybe very simple example, I could say that. Suppose if you wanted to prove that, so prove that 2 is the primitive root of 5. In that cases, what you will do? So 2 power 1 mod 5, then 2 power 2 mod 5, so 2 power 3 mod 5, and then 2 power 4 mod 5. So what will you do? So 2 power 1 is equal to 2, which is 2 mod 5, which is 2. So 2 power 2 is equal to 4, 4 mod 5 is 4. So 2 power 3 is equal to 8, 8 mod 5, which is 3. So 2 power 4 is equal to 16, 16 mod 5, you get 1. So this will start from 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, so 2 is a primitive root for the given number p is equal to 5. By the way, this is, we can prove that a given number is a primitive root for the p. I hope this is clear. Will you able to solve if I do similar kind of example? You need to do the modulus operations for all the numbers. Start from a power 1 to a power p minus 1 with respect to the mod p, and you need to check all the remainder values which you are getting, which should be from 1 to p minus 1. Is it clear? Any queries regarding this?
Clear.
What about others? Okay. I'm getting a positive acknowledgement from your side. So I'm confident to move to the next concept. Through that, I'll try to explain about the other theorems. Give me a second. So I explained about the primitive root. Next, we'll be discussing about the another important theorem, which is a Fermat theorem. All right. So this Fermat theorem, which will be used in a public key cryptography, in the next chapter, we'll deeply discuss about what is meant by this public key cryptography. Where, for time being, you just understand that in the public key cryptography, we'll be using a two keys. So far, whatever the key, whatever the technique which we discussed, Caesar cipher encryption technique, as well as the one time, as well as Vernon cipher, all the cipher which uses same key or a single key for encryption as well as decryption. So this type of techniques called a single key encryption or secret, or I could say that symmetric or session key encryption techniques. So in these cases, same key or the single key which will be used for both the encryption as well as decryption technique. When we talk about the public key cryptography, so this is completely different from the single key or symmetric key encryption. This public key cryptography also called asymmetric key encryption technique. Asymmetric means is no, there should not be similar key, right? So it's different. There will be two different keys. Out of that, one will be used for encryption, the another alternate or related key which will be used for decryption process. So if you are using more than one keys, that is called a multi key encryption technique, right? So when we talk about this public key cryptography technique, this technique will use a two numbers or two keys. Out of that, one key which will be used for encryption, and the another key which will be used for decryption technique. Right now, when we talk about the Fermat theorem, so which is mainly useful when we are using the public key cryptography technique, right? Through that, we will try to identify that what will be the value or the given modulus value for the specific number, right? For any prime number p, if you take any prime number p, 7 or 11, whatever it is, right, which is non-divisible by p, and also a is an integer, that means that a should not be a factor of a p. So that means that what this statement says, if we are selecting two numbers a and p, so these two numbers should be a co-prime or relatively prime. What is the co-prime or relatively prime numbers? What is the co-prime or relatively prime numbers? Anyone can unmute and say your answers. Are you all there?
Two numbers which don't have any common factor except one.
Yes. When we talk about co-prime or relatively prime numbers, those two numbers should not have any common factor rather than or except one. So in that cases, these two numbers can be called as a co-prime or relatively prime numbers. So in that cases, a prime number p and a, so these two you should select in a such a way that so these two numbers are the co-primes or relatively prime numbers, right? If these two numbers of relatively prime or co-prime, that cases a power p minus 1, which congruence, when we talk about this triple equal, which is congruence, right, which is equal, similar to the equals, which is 1 mod p minus 1, right? So when we take two example, so 2 power, say I'll take this example 2 comma 5. I'm taking a simple example for easy understanding, right? So these two are the relatively prime, right? The common factors between the 2 and 5, GCD of this 2 comma 5 is 1 only, right? So I can take this, so 2 power p minus 1, which is 2 power 4. So 2 power 4 mod p. So 2 power 4, which is 16, correct? 16 mod 5, which is 1, which is congruent to 1 mod p. What is this 1 mod p again? So 1 mod 5, which will give 1. So both these are congruents are equal. So p power, sorry, alpha power p minus 1, which is equal to 1 mod p, which will give the remainder 1. 1 mod p, which will always equal to 1. I hope this is clear. This is the first theorem, right, which is based on the Fermat theorem, first equation. And the second one is that very similarly, when we use the same numbers, right, if the two numbers are the co-prime or the relatively prime numbers, in that cases, a power p is congruent to a mod p. So what was the value which I have selected here, which is 2, and what is my p value, which is 5. So 2 power 5 mod 5. So what they are mentioning, which is equal to a mod p. A mod, what is my a value, which is 2. So 2 mod 5, I'll get 2. Let me prove this. So 2 power 5, which is 32. Correct? 2 power 5 is equal to 32. Correct or not?
Correct.
Okay. So 32 mod 5, I'll get 2, which is equal to 2 mod 5, which will give the value is equal to 2. Okay, with the help of this Fermat theorem, we'll understand that if the two selected numbers are the co-prime, so always you can keep it in the mind that so a power p minus 1, which will give the remainder value which is equal to 1, and then a power p always will give the same remainder, which is a mod p, which is equal to a. Okay, I can elaborate this with a few more example. So they have explained with the another example, which is they have considered a value is equal to 3. So a power p, which is so 3 power 5, which is 243. So 243 mod 5, you will get 3. Correct. So any value which is so a power p, which is 3 power 5 mod 5, which produces the same value, which is a mod p, which is 3. We can try for the same 3 power p minus 1, which is 3 power p minus 1 mod p, which will be equals to so 3 power 4 mod p value is equal to 5. So 3 power 4 is 81, correct? So 9 nines are 81. So 81 mod 5, which will give the value 1. Can you understand the concepts or the simple problem which I am explaining right now? I proved both the equations, right? A power p minus 1 is equal to 1 mod p. And the second equation, which is a power p, which is equal to congruence to a mod p. Any further explanations required from your end? What about others? Okay, I hope this is quite clear. So I'll move further. Now I'll sum up the few more example with related to the previous equations, right? Just bring it down, right? So when we talk about this if you get the problems to solve this equation 6 power 10 mod 11, right? Quickly you can solve it, right? So 6 power. So first you need to check this two values. A is equal to 6 and then P is equal to 11. So first you need to make sure that these two values are co-primes, are relatively primes. So 6 and 11 are co-prime. So by the way, we can simplify it. So alpha power P minus 1, which is 6 power 10. P minus 1 is equal to 11 minus 1, 10. So 6 power 10 is equal to 1 mod 11. Again, so if you wanted to prove it mathematically, you can split the power, right? So 6 power 10, which I can write it. So when we are doing the modulus operation for the bigger number, you try to select in a such a way that, so you start from this one, 6 power 1 mod 11 and 6 power 2 mod 11 and 6 power 4 mod 11. Always try to make sure that the power values in the upper value should be in the 1, 2, 4, 8, right? So otherwise you can take it as 4, 8, anything, right? So you can keep simple as this, right? So 6 power 1 is equal to 6 and then 6 power 6 equal to 36, 36 mod 11. What value you will get? So 3, right? And then what value can 6 power 4 mod 11? What is the value for the 6 power 4 mod 11? So it is 6 power 10, right? So I could take in such a way that, so the power should be, addition of the power to be equal to 10. So 1 plus 3, 7 plus 4. I can have one more 6, or I can have, here I can have 8. So you can try any combinations, but make sure that the power values to be in the 1, 2, 4, 8 in such a way that, right? So if you take this part, so 6 power 8, which is 6 power 8 mod 11, which I'll get 4 and multiplied by 6 power 2, which is I have calculated here. 6 power 2 is 36. 36 mod 11, I'll get 3. So if multiply these two values, so 4 3s are 12. So 12 mod 11, I'll get 1. Is it clear? If you want, I can explain this also, but you need to say the answers. So 6 power 1, right? How the 10 can be split, right? Otherwise, I'll just start from the beginning. So 6 power 10 can be splitted in such a way that, so 6 power 2, 6 power 4, again 6 power 4. So 6 power 4, sorry, 6 power 2 is equal to 36. 36 mod 11. I'll get 3, correct? So 6 power 4. What is 6 power 4? 36 into 36.
1296.
Okay, 1296. 1296 mod 11.
9.
1296. What? What value?
9.
9. Correct? Is it correct? 6296. Sorry, 1296 mod 11.
Yes.
Okay, so I can repeat the same. So again, 6 power 4 mod 11. I'll get 9. Multiply these three values. So 3 into 9 into 9. What is the result? 9 9s are 81. So 81 into 3, 8 3s are 24, 243. Correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
243 mod 11.
One.
So this is what the results we are getting here. So 6 power 10 mod 11 is equal to 1. Is it clear now?
Sir, by Fermat's theorem, we already know that 6 power 10 will be, 6 power 10 mod 11 will be 1. So do we need to solve this?
No need to solve it for understanding purpose, right? Already which has proven this theorem is proven. So 6 power 10 or 6 power p minus 1 is equal to 1. If you wanted to prove it mathematically, suppose if they are asking in the problem, you need to prove this theorem. So you need to do this split up and you need to find out the simplified modulus operation and you need to prove it. Okay?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes. Again, similarly, the second question, which is 6 power 12 mod 11, right? Again, we know that 6 power, alpha power p minus 1, which is 1. And then, so we need to find out that 6 power 12 mod 11, right? So this can be done in such a way that 6 power 11 is equal to 1. So again, so this can be, so very similarly, I have explained, right? You can do the split up and then you can find out the modulus value. So make sure that are you getting the 6 as a reminder of the results for 6 power 11. Already we calculated for 6 power 10, which is 1. So 1 into 6 power 1 will get 6 mod 11, which is 6. So 1 into 6, 6 mod 11, I'll get 6. Is it clear? Already what was the modulus value which you are getting for 6 power 10? So 6 power 10 is equal to 1. This is the proven theorem. And we need to find it for 6 power 12. So again we need to have the one more value which is 6 power 1 mod 11. So 6 power 1 mod 11 which is 6. So 1 into 6 again mod 11 will get 6. Is it clear now? Now try to find out the modulus value for this, the next equation, which is 3 power 12 mod 11. Here they have changed the a value, which is 3. A value is equal to 3 and p value is equal to 11. What is the value you are getting? You should have set this answer by this time. It's very simple. So 3 power 12. Are you there? You want me to solve this? You can work it out in your notebook and tell me the answers for both the, so 3 power 12 as well as 3 power 10. You are not audible, Anushka. You are trying to say something. Let me know the results in the chat box, or you can unmute and say the answer. 1. For the first is 1. First is 9. The answer for the first question is 9. Is it, Imran? You are referring that? How many of you solved that? Any difficulties? I'm waiting for your replies. Others, I hope you are solving parallelly. Okay. So 3 and 1. 3 and 4, all different answers. You can use either way, right? I'll scroll and I'll show the answer. So for that, the first value, which is, you will get, so I'll wait for a few more seconds so that you will get. Saurav, did you post the answers? You are much interested in writing your attendance, not rather the answers. I'm expecting the answer from your end. Are you all getting these answers, which is 3 and 4? If required, I can elaborate a bit more. How many of you got these answers? 3 and 4. Yes. Okay, I hope this is clear. If you want, I can explain further. It is very similar. Yes.
If the question is asking, for example, what is 3 raised to 10 mod 11? So why are we finding 3 raised to 9 mod 11?
Pardon?
The question is asking 3 raised to 10 mod 11. The answer for this. So why are we finding 3 raised to 9 mod 11? We should be finding.
You can follow your own method, as I mentioned, right? We can use 3 power 2, 3 power 4, and 3 power 8. You can use your own method. There is no such restrictions. Okay. At the end, you are supposed to find out the results for whatever the model is. I think they have given something here. They may need to find it for, I think, some mistakes, right? They wanted to find out for the 3 power 9 mod 11. What was the question problem which is has 3 power 10 mod 11? If you are solving this 3 power 10, what results are you getting?